Okay, hi guys. Welcome back to our new episode of the Gold Nugget Gang Podcast. I'm Nicholas.
I'm Santosh.
I'm Roly Poly.
Javier. He's got a real name.
I got a real name, yes.
He's got a real name. We've changed our setting a little bit. This is just the other angle of the store. The last episode you saw us, we were in the back. There wasn't anything, but we decided to move the table and have our space here. So you can see some different items. We have Vault250 cases in the background. We've got Odyssey collectible items like binders, guard cases, and we've got slabs from CC Collectibles, as well as boards and pixels with their game consoles. So yeah, you can sort of, if anybody is interested, do come down to our store to get some items and collectibles. And speaking of collectibles, this week's episode we are talking about collection fatigue. Right? Before I go straight into it and really we go deep into it, have any of you guys felt any type of collection fatigue recently? Yourself, have you felt anything?
I mean, fatigue is definitely there because let's say if you're collecting a certain type of Pokemon, like for me, I collect Gengars, Mewtwo's, and Darkrai's, right? So then, to the point that you already collected everything already, let's say everything, and then there's nothing new. And then that's like the fatigue level. I won't call it fatigue. Like basically, there's nothing more to collect. But another fatigue level is basically the price point. Like nowadays, the price points of, let's say, if you want to just open up something new, and you definitely know you're not going to get the price they're going to pay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I will usually compare it to another product then. Like for me now, I'm just like I'm shifting to Marvel. Right? So like if I'm going to spend $500 here, equally I can spend $500 there, which can get a bit more value.
True. For and also maybe the availability as well.
Yeah, that's another thing also. So fatigue in that level, in terms of collecting, yes. Then in the current situation in Singapore, every other week there's a trade show.
True, that's the other fatigue that we talk about.
Everybody is going to see the same thing over and over and over again. So, to me, that is another fatigue. Then it's just tiring lah.
Yeah. It's just a lot of mental fatigue. Yourself, do you have any scenarios of?
Man, that sounds like enough to tire me out already, man. But for myself, I think collection fatigue mostly falls within the theme of collection. Like I collect Team Rockets, right?
Yeah.
And then the most expensive rocket card you can find is the special case box Giovanni and Team Rocket. So that one I have what I want already. Now the question is, what you're going to collect next to complete the team, right? But as you start to go down the road, like, Santosh said, it's getting expensive, man. So even just to keep one or two extra copies of the same bloody thing. So for me,
so greedy? Why must I have one or two? Just one enough.
Well, if you can hoard, you hoard, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's always good to have additional.
True.
Yeah,
So now, like the team, I came to a point where I collect just one rocket handiwork, 12 pieces of it. And then what next, right?
And you sold two.
And I sold two. So I still have 10.
Yeah.
Some raw copies also. And I'm getting a little bit on the financial tired side.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So financial fatigue,
right?
Yes.
You don't, even if you have money for the next salary, are you going to spend more on the same Team Rocket or you want to go something else? So for now, I guess I'm looking for another team to focus on.
Okay.
Team Galactic.
Team Signature.
Team Signature. Okay.
But,
actually, this what started off this episode, I guess, or what inspired this episode this week was really a video that we saw from the United States. So there was basically this guy who posted on YouTube about how he was he was spending a lot of money just opening up prismatic evolutions just to try and hit the Umbreon. So eventually he hit he hit a total of spending $20,000 just to buy the Umbreon. I don't even know whether he hit the Umbreon, but he spent $20,000 opening prismatic evolutions, and that's a lot of money. I mean, if I think if you 20, let's say it's 20 Sing dollars, or even if let's say it's 20 USD one pack, right? So it means he opened like 1,000 packs to get.
Yeah.
And he may not even have hit the Umbreon.
He could just bought it himself.
Exactly, we saw one Singapore sold 4.5k Sing,
English, right?
Yeah, English one. So yeah, and that's sort of where I think that's the what inspired like really the the fatigue that someone will feel when they do buy. When we do buy cards, whether it comes from the financial side or whether it's from the collecting, like what else do you want to collect?
Yeah.
I mean, apart from cards, did you guys have any else that other things that you've collected before coming into sort of into cards? Because for me, I used to collect Marvel Legends, right? I guess if you look at my shop, look at the shop, you can see a few remnants of that. I still have a few Marvel Legend pieces here and there. I used to have like hundreds, and they would take up the whole wall. So the fatigue for me came from space, a lack of space.
I think that's the same for me. I collected whiskey bottles. Those are waste of a lot of space if you want to stack them up.
I mean, the thing is, with Singapore, right, is all about the real estate that you have.
Yeah, the constraint of space.
Yeah, and then let's say if your hobby is going to take a whole lot of real estate, then that's another issue lah.
Yeah.
Because I got a friend who he's still collecting action figures. I don't know whether he collects Labubus or Pop Marts, but he was collecting Funko Pops a lot.
Oh, okay.
Funko Pops really was it takes up a lot of space. It's one box, but you have 10 boxes, it's already one shelf.
Yeah.
And then you got hundreds of Funko Pops, it's a wall.
Yeah, I know. Just come to my shop, you can see a lot.
Gold Nugget Gang is not accepting any Funko Pops or trade, but if Funko Pops, will you like this clear Funko Pops, do go to
no, we are trying to sell
shopping center.
our Funko Pops as well.
Funko Pops starting from $1, you can go and get from
it's $1 Funko Pop.
Bartertrade.
$1
Let's see what we can do about it.
Start from $1 and then you go from there. But the space thing is a very big issue, right?
It is.
Yeah, for sure. I think collecting anything that is big and there's a standard structure to it is going to take out space. Whiskey take me out a lot of space already. I would believe Funko Pop, Labubu is going to take space as well.
Back then, I used to collect comic books, right? Then after that, just stop collecting.
You just bought 2 more, just
So I restarted collecting. No, I mean I stopped collecting for a while because I felt like it's just sitting in my room doing nothing. Then I realized actually there is value to it. Like it's a slow education for myself also lah. Then I actually re-entered the collecting scene for comic books. I think last year September around there, when I first got my first graded comic book slab, right? Then from there I realized, hey, you know what? I think it's time for me to go back to this also, right? So now that's a whole lot of collecting. I have like 2 boxes full of non-graded comic books and maybe a box full of graded comic books now.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but it's just like that is also real estate, but even though it's like in a small frame, but it's still real estate. Like imagine 3 boxes full.
Yeah.
I think other than whiskey, I also collect games. Like the old vintage games, like
with
DS, boxes, 3DS, Game Boy Advance. Those takes a lot of space too.
Yeah, even though it's small, right?
Yeah, and they're very flimsy. You have to store it properly, which means you get more acrylic boxes just for that. Yeah, so they took up a lot of space, and then eventually it gets tired because you won't get to play them anyway. Because they're sealed items, right? Then
that goes with all the other sealed items that we have, like Pokemon ETBs.
Pokemon try to collect sealed, don't collect sealed stuff, man.
Actually, this brings up an interesting point because I think there's a question of deterioration. So for action figures, if you keep them long enough, right, they typically will, especially if it's the older plastics, it will typically have a little bit of
yellowing,
stickiness. Or there will be still the plastic will sort of deteriorate, and then it will change colors and things like that. So actually, now that I think about it, right, if you talk about Pokemon slabs, Pokemon cards, they don't have as long of a history lah.
The shelf life.
So we're not sure, like, whether they will have some of these same, because for Marvel Legends or what, these are 30 over years old.
Yeah.
Then the graded comics that you see, if you didn't grade them, they all turn yellow.
Yeah.
Whereas Pokemon cards, I mean, there is the warping. There is the warping, but once you slap, you lose. You don't have to worry about that warping anymore.
Correct.
But I'm just wondering whether, 10, 15 years down the road, especially Singapore is a very humid country, right? Will that be a case where everybody looks at their sealed stuff, everybody looks at their boxes or things like that, then they'll think, I need to get rid of it.
Okay, I think I give you the answer in 20, 30 years time.
Okay, thanks.
Give you the answer.
Or buy an aircon and then put a...
Technically, you can go to one of those very vintage stores. Maybe Old Airport Road has one. Old grandma still sells this kind of old leftover things, right? She stored for 20 years, man. It's starting to get sticky. There is some level of deterioration for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing about these kind of collectibles, right? So sometimes you have to take them in proper prim condition. Whether the room has to be, a certain level of humidity. It's like how, you keep your precious stuff. For some people, for yourself, you used to collect whiskey. Some people collect cigars. Some people collect watches. Some people collect, camera equipments and everything. Right? All this, they have their own kind of stuff to put them, dehumidifier humidifier this that
dry box.
Yeah. So it really you need to know what you are going to do for your hobby, your collectible. So let's say if you want to put something like a paper, cardboard paper is all made from wood and everything, right? So what you need to do to prevent them from deteriorating, maybe put them in a cold room, put them in a dehumidifier for them to prevent warping, stuff like that.
But
so
to be fair, Pokemon cards, Pokemon just only resurfaced and hyped in the last 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And all our old stash actually has been just randomly tossed around in the album for years. It didn't really deteriorate that much.
The binders got all sticky.
They get sticky, but the cards are still okay inside though. So
I mean, generally cards, I don't think cards usually get sticky. More like it will get warped over time.
Yeah, the bending is expected, right?
Yeah,
just
but
the humidity.
So, but that is one element of a collectible that is deteriorating. A warp is a deterioration itself.
But I guess essentially that one tells us that by being fatigued on collecting, we'll end up just teaching it aside. Might as well just get ready a proper storage now.
Correct.
And keep our things nicely.
Correct.
Yeah, so actually the deterioration point I thought of discussion, and we brought up quite a few good points, is that the realities of life do come in when it comes to a collection, whether it's space, whether it's maintaining it as well.
Yeah, other priorities also.
For cameras, I have to buy a dry box. Then after I have more cameras, I have to buy a bigger dry box. Then now also for collectibles, it's I essentially moved all the collectibles into a store, and not from the home, so that takes up space. So all these things, the fatigue can get to you if the logistical side of life sort of comes into play, right? Yeah. So
I also think that when you own too much things, you start to wonder whether you really, really need so much things.
Exactly. Do we really need that, or is it time to let it go?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
This was a very good question very recently for me, because during the trade show, there was a guy going around looking for a Sabrina's Gengar PSA 10.
Oh, yeah.
I have 3 copies. I have 2 PSA copies and I have 1 ARS copy. When I bought them, they were $700, right? So to me, the question was, I'm just going to hold, right? That was my mindset. But then when he put the offer on the table, which is essentially 4 or 5 times the price I paid, right? Then he brought about this question of do I really need multiple copies?
We had a very long discussion
because when he came to the first day, then he was like, I'm going to offer almost $4,000. Would it go up? Would it go down? Then I'm like, yeah, but that's speculation. But the question is, do you need it?
Do you really need to wait till it goes up another 10 times more?
Then I was like, just let it go. Then so I did sell it in the end. I sold for what 4250 somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I mean that's everybody. Like I'm pretty sure three of us have always been in that dilemma when people want a particular card and we have multiple copies of that particular card. And then do we want to let it go?
I had the same thing. I had 12 pieces of the bloody rocket handle, right?
Yeah.
Asked once, sold. Okay, I'll release let go one.
Yeah.
Then it came again the second round this time. For second piece, I had to let go a second one again.
Same. So like I think I every time joke around with my Gengar collection, right?
Yeah.
So every trade show I go, one Gengar will be gone.
Oh, okay.
One Gengar.
Yeah, it's like very painful. One Gengar will be gone. Like I mean, those are like raw cards lah, but still, it's your own collection.
Yes.
Even though it's a spare, but it's still like, heart pain. Not say heart pain. It's like
Attachment to it.
Yeah, it's an attachment. Like I have another one is when it came out, I collected the stained glass.
Oh, the tree birds.
Yeah, stained glass.
For that, no?
Everybody is looking
version.
Everybody, and back then it was only $20 per pot.
Why is everybody looking for this now?
I don't know. But anyway, it's another day for another one.
But that's another day for another conversation.
Correct.
But yeah, so when one leaves the binder, I'm like thinking, wow, that's one ETB gone there.
Yeah, one
because
ETB.
it's a ETB promo ma. One ETB gone there, another ETB gone there. It's like all the memories will come back,
Yeah, I think the FOMO was very
ETBs
powerful.
open.
Anyway,
another day
for another. Yeah. So same thing goes with Team Rocket also. I got a Jesse James, the Team Rocket.
Is it the English
from
one?
the same set? From the same set.
Oh, same set.
English one. Yeah, that one also same thing. But it is what it is, right? The question is, do we need it?
Yeah.
Or is a want and a need kind of situation?
It goes down to also whether you're satisfied with a low grade. Like I had a Zat X PSA 10, which I sold in the previous trade show in September.
Yeah.
And then this time Nick brought out one of PSA 3. He's like, I cannot afford a 10 anymore now.
But it still looks nice.
But the 3 looks good enough for me.
Yeah.
So I took the 3. I kind of fulfill my FOMO for it.
Yes.
Like even the same thing, if let's say if I were to get the vending machine Gengar, any grade, that's like solidified. Okay, you know what? I'm done with Gengars already. Because that's the only missing piece I have.
The Masaki amazing?
Yeah.
Hello?
I know he has, but it's just, like... see what happens, right?
See what happens.
There's no rush to actually chase something. Otherwise, the fatigue kicks in, right?
Correct.
Your goal in life is gone.
Yeah.
Like recently also, I just completed. I haven't did a post on it, but I recently completed my 151.
Oh, finally your master set.
Master set.
Let go.
I told myself like 22. When we ended the trade show, 21, 22, right?
22 June.
22 June is the last day I give myself. If not, I'm going to buy the missing piece because that's the only missing piece. Yeah. I completed everything with just purely trading.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like to me it's the journey of like trading. Instead of like buying it, because buying it anybody can buy the whole set.
Yes, you can go online and find a master set.
Yeah, so to me essentially when I started this, I just wanted to like bring back the old ways of collecting cards, you know.
Which is trading.
Which is trading. You buy I bought I think maybe about 4 sealed products worth. And then the rest is all trade.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's a good choice because trading is essentially the one that allows you to interact with somebody and make a conversation to see what everybody views equally, what value it is, instead of just throw cash. And
essentially it's called trading card game. It's a trading card.
True. Yeah. I think for me, I have enjoyed quite a few of the trades that I've done recently. They may not have been trades where I essentially made a profit on the cards, but whether I've traded with Javier or I've traded with Oxy Grading or I've traded with Arturus collectibles. Those were good trades because they were fun. The value, not to say one person takes 80% value or things like that. Because if we were to trade with, let's say, customers or things like that, then we would take 80% because we don't really want that card. But both people sort of want something from the collection. And then it's like, I'm willing to give up something I have for you. So that kind of trade does
the feeling feels good,
Yeah, it's like how at that time I traded the balloon Gengar with you.
Yes.
It's that kind of feeling like.
Yeah, we got. I think those are fun. I think if we can bring that back a little bit more, like for us as shops, we take in trades because people clear what they don't want to us. if somebody is clearing something that I want, let's say somebody brought you a Masaki Gengar to trade for other things, I'm sure you'll be willing to get them market rate or even higher.
Yeah,
or
just
like
to
that,
achieve it.
Because
right?
just to
Just
get
achieve
it,
that, right? Yeah. Then you'll be fine. Like,
Yeah, but certain things don't come that easily. Like if you want to have any of those magic ponchos again at a 10, nobody's gonna trade you right now.
unless you got
like, but
something else.
to your point of like shops taking in trades, because I mean everybody. Okay, when people gets to know about the worth of trading card now and everything, they don't value much, but they kind of know, okay, this one got some money, right? Then they will go to different people. Like, hey, I want to just let go of this stuff, but then
They want to
are
get the
asking,
best price.
their asking price is like ridiculous amount. But then when you come to a shop, right, you must understand to the process, to the perspective of like the shop is taking the risk. Like we are going to take in all your cards, and we are going to hold it, right? Whether are we going to sell it on the spot or not, it's a question mark, right? So usually when we do like discount tradings in shop, usually is about 60 to 70% because it really determines on how long the stuff is going to sit in the shelf. Right?
But actually, to the trades, one thing that as a vendor I find the thing that makes this boothing or vendoring a bit tiresome or brings a bit of fatigue is when people just come in and ask the trade value for something. Because to me, that I don't mind trading you something that you really like from the table. I can give you a little bit of a better price for some of the things that you don't really want. But if you're just coming to me and just saying that how much is this worth, what can I get for it? That's the part that I sometimes get a bit tired of, because it's like you don't really want anything from my booth. Like you haven't seen anything that you really like. So I always ask, well, do you see anything that you're interested in? Not really. I just want to. So the trading becomes just very transactional. That the customer comes to the table and say, I just want to trade for something that is of higher value or value, and I want to get the maximum. But sometimes I don't mind. Like sometimes I trade Javier or whoever. Then I'm like, it's okay I take at
you lose a bit, you get,
it's okay. I don't mind losing a bit of that value of the card, because there's something there that I really want.
Correct.
I say, okay, I give you more cash, I give you more slaps, I give you then. But there seems to be a case where a lot of people are just coming and say, how much trade value can I get for this, without actually wanting something that you have at the booth. Like I was hunting around for the Jesse James the Team Rocket, that one, the Japanese one I was before I traded the trio away, because I was thinking, they'll be nice with the trio that I have, the red, blue, green.
Okay.
So while I had the red, blue, I think maybe I can get the Jesse, but now that I don't have that, it's gone. So it's fine. I'm not hunting for it. It's with him. But when I was looking, I was like looking, okay, they have what I want. I'm willing to bring things to trade some didn't work out because the valuation for
not the same,
was
right?
High, but I was willing to lose money on my trades to say that I don't mind losing, on my trades. You can take at 70% value or 60% value. I get that money, but some didn't work out because the valuation is a bit too far off. But at least I think that if you like something at the table, you can work something out. I think that's still quite fun. But
I think there's a certain way to phrase the sentence to make it more genuine. But most of people come in, when they bring to us the slaps in the trade show, they were thinking that their slaps are highly desirable.
So that's the thing about the current scene in this whole trade show, and people coming to your booth and asking for a value and everything. Like what you say is very transactional now, and the element of sharing a story and everything is not there already. As long you give me the best deal, then thank you very much. Thank you very much. That kind of thing.
It's like a trade up challenge essentially.
Okay, something about the trade up challenge. So that one we can talk about another time. But this whole idea of you coming to the booth and asking what can you offer, like. I mean, we are boothing. We whatever you see there is what we can offer. Right. If it's not there, means it's not there.
There's no hidden stash for you.
Sometimes you got hidden. Sometimes
something is really one.
We all have our hidden stash. But the thing is, whatever is in front of you is what
what we are willing to let go.
Yeah, exactly. If nothing is there, then you just take a look and move on. Right. I mean, you are hoarding. I mean, you are keeping other people who really wants to do a business here and move, keeping them.
As in, like kind of like taking up their space for opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But I think one of the worst one I've seen so far that annoys me the most during the whole trade show was about what's your best price?
Yeah, that one is another one. That one really is another one. I really want to talk about that. No, seriously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like it's sometimes is a tick for me.
Right.
It's actually very ticking after a while.
You know, okay, for example, this particular slab is stated there 250.
Okay, yeah.
Right, 250 is like full price tag, everything is there.
Yeah.
And then you asking me what's your best price? My price is 250. What's my best price?
Best price 250.
No, like
The line that I teach, I thought one of our friends, Yik Xuan TYS, was that you don't negotiate with yourself. So I use that line quite a bit.
Okay.
I say, sorry, but I don't negotiate with myself. Then they will...
You're stunned for a while.
They'll stand for a while.
No, because it's different, right? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I seriously don't understand who came up with this bloody line.
But like to me, it's like, so this is how I tell. Okay, this is my price, right? What are you looking for?
Yeah,
like what are you asking?
That's true, yes.
What if they came and say, can you do a little bit cheaper?
Yeah,
How's
no,
that?
but
That is a better way of
Yes,
asking.
that's
What's your price?
That's actually very polite.
Yeah,
I would really go 15% even for just for it.
Okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
if it's that way, right? I'm pretty sure I'm okay to let go a bit, $10.
Buy two, give you better price. You
buy more, I give you more discount,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But you ask me, what's the best price for that?
10K.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah,
Interesting.
no. I have one.
That's my best price,
one
right?
of my guys in the booth. 10% more from your bank account. Something like that. Like he just like jokes around because if you want to be juvenile, we also can be juvenile.
Okay.
But the sentence essentially make it sound like we are all trying to hype the price to a very unreasonable and we could actually take it down, Like, why would you put everyone in this spot by asking such a very impolite way of putting the question of whether you can get a discount?
But I got this feeling is because of the culture in Singapore. Like the not say culture I would say more like how this whole transactional way of looking at life, right? Like everything has a dollar value now instead of like a story.
Okay.
Right. So now this is $10, right? Like in Singapore, I want to get a bit cheaper, can or not? That kind of mentality, ma. If can get cheaper, I want to get cheaper, lah.
Like, it's a good flex to say that now that the poncho is let's say 10,000, right? I say, I got it for 8,000.
Exactly. It's a flex. It's a story for them, but it's not a story for you.
Yeah.
As in,
hey, I got from this guy, $10, $8 only, but the asking price was $10, not bad, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's a Singaporean thing, lah. I feel.
I think what I observe from the US trade shows, just from social media, they are, I guess, quite fair. So everything really is pegged to market rate. So
but they do explain a little bit why they bump up the price.
Correct.
Yeah. Some people, but some sellers do sell under the market rate.
Right, yeah.
I guess it's also because getting stock. Because for us, we things if come to us from other countries do cost.
Yeah, I mean there's an additional premium added on to the thing.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah. But there are some people just add on a additional premium just for the sake of it.
If you can move, then it's okay.
Yeah,
I think it's okay.
Some of them is just like if it's moving and then some things you cannot move on. Right? It's difficult to move. What would you do?
Lower the price?
Yeah, but some people just stick the price.
Yeah. Because they think maybe the price will just you still eventually go up lah.
But to be honest, if you're moving, sellers has the right choice to choose because it's their item, right?
Exactly.
They can see the price they want, but the buyer should not assume that all of us are trying to eat them.
Correct.
For breakfast or lunch, right?
Yeah.
If you really think that we're gonna eat you give a price that you're willing to get soloed, right? Then that's when negotiations start and then it gets more fun.
Correct. So that I mean this whole thing is about bartering.
Yeah.
Essentially it's all bartering, right? Like you give a price, my price is there, you give a price, whether we can agree to a certain price. If not, then you top up cash or I give you cash.
Or you take more stuff out and just
exactly. Like 2 for 1, 1 for 2, that kind of thing.
Yeah, buy more, get more cheap. But I think the fatigue it does boil down to a little bit more in terms of some of the things that we've sort of spoken about, like it does sort of boil down to really that transactional value, like how many people are coming into the hobby to for fun, how many people are coming into the hobby really to earn a quick buck. Because if there are there are more people who are coming into the hobby to earn a quick buck, then everything becomes very transactional.
Which I think it is happening, you know.
I think definitely. But we also know that once people feel that it's not worth coming in for a quick buck, things will go down to price.
It's always a
so.
cycle.
For example, like let's say if I go back to my action figures example, like action figures or even comic books, like if you're a comic book collector, you roughly know the market prices. You can really negotiate. There's not many people like trying to just flip the prices. Now that Magic is very popular with the Final Fantasy, with Marvel, maybe the new thing, then people will move the transactional individuals may move on to that and not do Pokemon anymore, because we are seeing Pokemon prices
surging,
drop a little bit. Right?
It's cooling a little bit,
and it's like really stock market, one day up, one day down kind of thing. But talking about this, right, hiking up and hiking down. If you realize a lot of people are like kind of dumping their One Piece stuff.
Yeah,
if you
actually it hits a fatigue for that TCG.
Correct, because like a lot of people came to my booth asking,
do you buy in
One Piece?
We had the same situation.
Hey, y'all can do trades for One Piece, for Pokemon.
Yeah.
So then you already know what's happening, because it's not only one vendor, not two vendors. It's like the whole a few vendors are asking around. They all say the same thing. So we can see as a collective, this particular scene for One Piece is actually going down.
Yeah.
Then I went to do a bit of market research and everything. The only thing that is kind of consistent is only Luffy cards. The Luffy manga, Luffy SP and stuff like that.
Not even the waifus.
Nami went down. Went down, Boa went down, all went down.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So only Luffy is consistent, or quite stagnant, but consistently stagnant kind of thing. You know the card, the Goldie Roger?
Yeah.
At one period of time was like what, 15, 12K, 11K or whatever.
Now
it's at subpar 3K.
Wow. That's a massive down.
Yeah. So kind of everybody is from the previous trade show that I observed, everybody is kind of throwing
One Piece
now.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what's happening with that market, right? So that's a telltale sign, lah.
Yeah. I think for us, trade show do give us a lot of information, but at the same time, you can tell that which TCG are getting in this downhill fatigue stage where people just don't want to collect anymore.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of things, and then they want to move to the next one.
Yeah.
But for people to keep moving around, it also tells you that these are probably not collectors. They're probably trying to do a quick buck as per normal, trying to max out their evaluation of their prices for what they got. So I think I don't know whether Magic has this issue or not, but the Chocobo has definitely gone crazy.
But okay, for me, how I see this whole Magic coming into the scene and becoming quite big now. If you realize Magic itself, it has been like kind of consistent for throughout the years, because it's Magic then Pokemon in terms of the years. Right? But the people who are playing in terms, let's say I'm not really very sure, but let's say in Singapore, it's not much compared to Pokemon players.
No.
Right?
But still consistent.
Still consistent, yes. But then if you realize more of Magic stuff, they are doing collabs with other IPs.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah, and Pokemon hasn't done any of such collabs.
Mario,
or very little.
That's really Nintendo.
Very little. Like
I don't think they need to when the central branding.
So you can see the I would say the power of one IP over another IP.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Like one IP is trying to be something like Magic, like not saying being something, like being relevant. And Pokemon is just like just there doing its own thing.
Yeah. Well, it's the biggest TCG, right?
I mean, it's the biggest IP lah. I would say.
It is.
For TCG.
Yeah. I mean, it's biggest IP in the world.
In the world,
I mean, you can fight with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Disney franchise. Disney franchise itself is already pretty strong.
Yeah.
Pokemon. So
Pokemon is becoming an all generation thing. Magic, I guess. It was appealed to the older generation. Like the younger ones, they wouldn't appreciate this whole lengthy wordy kind of concept game.
Yeah.
Right. So then they had to put in the collaborations to let them see what their generation has been playing, which is mostly PS, PlayStation. That's why this Final Fantasy is a very big thing, right? It's always been those digital games, and now they print on paper. Looks extra nice for some reason, right?
Correct.
So Pokemon didn't need that. It's always on TV and a game, and now in TCG.
Yeah.
It doesn't even need this boosting collab.
Yeah, I mean it's just on the point of the IPs. It has many touch points lah.
Yeah, that's kind of fatigue for is in a company level. That's a fatigue for the whole hobby also.
Which actually just on that, because like for me as a Gengar collector, right, I tried to collect every single card. Then after that, I moved from TCG to stickers, then to coins. Then after I realized, wow, actually that's where I starting to have the fatigue lah. I've let go of my non-TCG stuff, just random. I had some random Meiji card or some sticker or something like that, and then some obscure. I went to buy some obscure
Uno cards.
Uno card. No, even some obscure Mexican sticker. I don't know but there was this Spanish sticker that I got. Then I was like, wow, what the hell? Why are you buying this kind of weird things? You know. So that's where I got some of that fatigue. Like, okay, maybe I need to slow down a little bit.
But you buy it because it's Gengar. Because it's something. I mean,
momentarily you needed it.
Yeah, because it's something new for your collection. Then after when you sit down and realize, why?
Yeah.
You know?
But if you think about it, the only TCG that the fatigue doesn't deepen is Pokemon.
In a company level,
Regardless what you collect, like from cards, your fatigue on cards, you say because maybe it's too expensive now. It goes something a little bit more diversifying. You're going for coins and stickers, right? But it doesn't deviate from that theme of Pokemon.
True.
You still come back eventually to the TCG. The franchise itself is just branding is so strong and ingrained in us that the fatigue level doesn't kick in so much. It's more with dealing with people that the fatigue hits more. As in, that's for me at least. It hits me more when I deal with people.
We hate humans. But
certain people.
But actually, the point of that is like I like Ultraman, Ultra 7, I like Spider-Man. So even sometimes I see some random Spider-Man bobblehead or somewhere, then I'm like, hey, that's quite cool. It's just a few dollars, which I do hope that, that can happen more, right? Especially for TCG, where if there's something nice, you buy it without having to think that, oh my gosh, this is $10,000 or this is $5,000 or there's so much hype around it. Then everybody's trying to chase it or things like that.
I mean, like you talk about hype, the recent one also, the Pikachu.
The Yokohama,
Yokohama.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody is hoarding. I mean, trying to hoard it now just because of how Poncho did.
Oh yeah.
Why would Yokohama be able to do that?
I'm not sure. We sold 3 Yokohamas in the span of 1 week last.
A lot of people did ask that too.
I'm just saying, I mean, because if Pokemon, I mean Pikachu promo can do as high as that,
so I assume that all promos will do that.
People assume like people not in the hobby thinking, this Pikachu promo did so much. I think I get into this.
But actually there's
promo.
A few customers at the event when they were moving, they did ask like, what do you think is better to collect as a new starter? Then I did mention that maybe, if you want to keep long term, you might as well just collect promos. Yeah.
I mean, no wrong lah. I mean, it's really
there's no wrong or right.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure there are collectors out there who are, trying to make a quick buck and just saw how much a Pikachu promo did. Right? Pretty sure they will do that also lah. Oh, okay, you know what? Time to buy like 10 pieces of this Pikachu promo and keep for another 10 years. I'm pretty sure this one will give me 1000x kind of thing.
I guess, I mean, I hard to say lah. Really,
I know it's hard.
Nobody knows, man.
Nobody knows. But I'm pretty sure that's what will happen lah, right? Like this hoarding of promos.
Yeah, it just probably just one day the bigger markets decided that they want to buy this. And then that's where all the whole bloody trend starts all over again, right? Yeah. So I don't know who's buying ponchos recently, but I think
news is telling us that it's the Chinese lah. Nothing against the Chinese people, but
eventually if you're gonna have so many circulating out for sale, the price has to lower. It's same as real estate, right? You have too many available. Somebody has to lower the price to move it.
So we'll see. I mean, I think we spoke quite a bit about the different types of fatigue lah, but maybe you can share a little bit like for yourself, how did you overcome collection fatigue in your own case or your own scenario?
I usually will just reset with another team.
Okay, another
Yeah,
thing,
so
right?
for example, like Rocket, I've been collecting for a while already, right? And then the new Rocket set release, there was a big hype. I ripped one box and then I felt that there's nothing here that looks as beautiful as what I had before. So you're stuck, right? Now you're like, oh my god, my direction in life is gone.
No,
So I had to go and look for other things. So
Direction in life is gone.
No. Chow is separate.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
But
Direction in collecting.
Direction in collection is kind of gone, right? So the next set was go back to something I was previously chasing, which is a bit on the signature card side.
okay, yes.
But you must pick, right? So I went to browse. So I guess the new way to prevent yourself from to go through the fatigue again was to misdirect yourself to another team. So for me, is to either get a good trade or look for signature cards that maybe is worth my cash to buy.
Okay, yourself?
For me, I mean, to prevent fatigue, right? Actually, I kind of started a new collection.
What?
That's one.
Okay, which is similar, like pivoting.
Yeah,
right?
that's one. Another one is because I have so many different types of like collecting points. Like I collect Pokemon, I collect Marvel cards, I collect comic books, right?
Yeah.
So it's when I got fatigue in one, now I'll just go to another one. When I fatigue in another one, I'll
Go to another one.
So it's like what you say, like pivoting lah.
Yeah.
You pivot to one that you know, and at least don't go to something that you don't know. Then you'll just go down to a rabbit hole again, lah. Because at least it's better for you to step into an animal that you know than an animal that you don't know at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think the one way to maybe also reduce the fatigue for collection is to catalog what you have.
Yeah.
If you were to catalog nicely, you go through what you list you have, you start to realize that there might be a genre that you have been pivoting towards.
Yeah.
And then something that you are now kind of accidentally just started.
Correct.
If you can figure that out by cataloging, you might be able to kind of reassess what you are trying to do with your collection and whether what needs to be moved on and what need to be kept.
Yeah, essentially like having like what I say, like having one each lah for me. Like,
Okay.
Like now currently for Pokemon, I'm collecting Ceruledge.
Okay. Oh.
Relatively new Pokemon, and there's not many cards. Right?
Why Ceruledge?
Because the new gen,
This is on new gen.
It just came out only ma.
I see.
So and it's dark Pokemon
It's
looking.
cool,
It's cool, right?
Flames.
Yeah, blue flame and whatever, right? So
I gotta see that.
so it's nice. So I'm pretty sure there will be a market for it in the future, probably. But I'm not collecting for the market. I'm collecting is because it looks cool. It's just like you know, you got Dragon Ball, right? You got Goku and Vegeta. Then it's like a Vegeta looking guy, right? Purple, right? Then like for Marvel, you know, I collect like too many different characters lah.
Yeah.
So you won't get tired with just one character.
Right.
Then comic books, generally I'm collecting Venom lah.
Yeah.
But if a comic book that looks good and then there is a potential, like it's different and whatever, definitely I'll collect one because it's unique and it's nice to me. Right?
I think for us as collectors, we have to appreciate the fact that we can afford to collect lah.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the one thing that collectors need to sort of realize is that you collection is not a right. You are, it's sort of really it's a benefit that you have. The ability to collect something that not everybody can do. Yeah, it really is a luxury.
It is.
So the fact that you can collect something is really luxury, and I think I appreciate that. We appreciate that we are able to afford some of these luxuries in life. So I think number one is, just appreciating that there's this luxury that we are able to have. I think the cataloging is quite interesting because cataloging, number one, it does is helps you to pivot or things like that. Actually, what it also does is also on the financial level, it helps you to track what you've been spending.
That's true.
So like for me, like I, now that with the store, what comes in, what goes out, pricing, whether or not we make a profit is a different thing, but I started cataloging even before I opened the store, and I sort of realized at least I know how much money you sort of put into the hobby, so you can sort of say that, okay, I'm working within this amount, whether I sell something to bring in something, one in, one out, whatever practice that you have. Like if you have infinite money, then no problem, right? But most of us have a limited budget. Cataloging, I think, helps quite a little. It does
help a lot. Like during this trade show, I did a very thorough cataloging for the first time, right? Because I always thought that things that are for personal collection, I don't bother with the price, so I just keep it as it is. I don't go and look at how much it's worth. I don't want to know how much I invested because it's my personal collection. But when this when I told myself that this trade show maybe is possibly my last one, I want to try to clear as many as things. I cataloged thoroughly and I actually have so many Team Rocket stuff that maybe I'm okay to let go a small portion of it. And there's excess stuff.
Find Javier.
Don't buy anymore. I want them.
For sale.
Other things like the gym, vintage gym sets that I have, the master sets, right? I was actually willing to break them up to let go as single pieces. That was just simply because I've done through my catalog. I was like, okay, this is really a lot of excessive things that maybe I don't really need at home.
Yeah. But I mean, it's important. Like, I mean, cataloging is important. And at least you like what you say, your PC, I don't really want to care about it or whatever. But actually, if you think about it, like you still need to like kind of know that this is there. Like some people will just
dump it somewhere
and forget about it, right?
True.
So I mean, each to their own lah. But I mean, for you to have like a peace of mind, at least know what you have. Then from there, like I mean, there are different apps now for you to
trace,
trace and track and everything. Like another, I mean, there's no promo code or whatever lah. But the app that I'm pretty sure all of us are using is this Malaysian app called Collector.
I'm actually not. I'm using price charting.
Different people use different things, right?
Yeah.
So like all these apps just help people like trace and
know the price,
and see if there is any ups, downs, whatever. And another thing is actually your janks got a lot of money on, no?
Yeah, of course.
Put on kill cards.
No, that's okay. So even for trade shows, right?
Kill cards actually well organized.
Kill cards good UI. So shout out to Kill Cards for their good UI.
Hey, need more info
and
text Gold Nugget Gang.
And like you will be surprised the amount of money you can get from janks alone. Like you can just create a $1 binder. A $3 binder.
That's how I started my trade show with one Jenks box.
And it's insane like the amount of cards that can be just let go that way.
But I think the trade show has also opened our eyes on how we organize the Jenks. Like people have been taking it casually under our nose.
There's a security.
It's more of a security issue but
it goes down to the fact that if you have a lot of $1 cards, you can't put it in the album forever. Right?
True.
It's okay lah. I think those are ways we can do that. There was one store I noticed at trade show. They just sell janks. They don't do it. So it was just
all albums.
No even albums. It's just box the white card.
Boxes of $1.
So you just dig. So there was a lot of people just digging on. Whether you still or not, I think the uncle didn't really care lah. So I mean for this whole topic of fatigue, I think we spoke about like the collection fatigue, the money aspects of it, the upkeeping of it, how to pivot, and I think there's a lot of things that we've covered lah. So
we never cover human fatigue.
That one
the trade show fatigue.
So to all of our trade show organizers, don't organize so close to each other. Give us some time to breathe. Actually, for me, I think I give up already. I think I'm going to go for the big one. So I'm just going to come to the store. So come and find us at the store. We technically are somewhat like a trade show because I have a few different vendors here.
Permanent trade show.
Permanent trade show. No crowd. It can come during opening hours, not anytime you want. And you can sit down, have a seat, have a drink and do the things. Chit chat. So hopefully we can bring the trade show experience to you in our small little space in Upper Serangoon Shopping Centre. So
all Bartertrade.
Yes, shout out to Bartertrade, of course. In Queensway. So it depends on where you are. If you're south of Singapore, a bit west side, then go to Bartertrade. If you're northeast, a bit east side, then you come. So this is our sister company.
Sister company. Friends and
Alliance.
Alliance. There's no accounts are separate, social media separate. No parent company, but friendly,
but affiliated in a way.
If anything, we can call each other and
you have or not.
Easy.
So
it's supposed to be a friendly community anyway.
So maybe hopefully we'll bring things back to the brick and mortar. But I think that's sort of where we're at for this episode. I think if there's any other comments or any questions that you guys have about fatigue or anything else, do let us know, and then we'll sort of tackle it in the next podcast. But that's all for today. I'm Nicholas,
Santosh,
Javier.
And that's all for today. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.